back to the Relatable and Obtainable. As you guys saw, we changed the name. We made it official. This is where we at now. This is who we are. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because it really helps us know that you care. And that being said, we got some questions for you guys today, and we're also going to be maybe introducing something different to the segment. So play along with us, go along with us, and let's see what we got. Are you going to say anything, or are you just going to stay quiet? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is our space to talk about anything relationships. So we're just going to go into, some people have asked us for advice on things, so we're going to go into that, and then we might go into some other stuff, who knows.
True. We're not experts, but we kind of are.
Yeah,
so.
We're not experts, but we're in a relationship. And we've had relationships our whole life with different people. So
not our entire lives, but
I mean, not just like romantic relationships, but you have relationships with people, with your parents. You have relationships with friends. You have relationships with, different people. And so let's go. First question is, how do you give space when it's asked for? As in, how do you give space but still be present in their lives?
Damn.
I think this is kind of easy. You have to ask the person what they need, right? Like, I think some of these things where people get so confused, it's because you're just not actually communicating. First of all, why does the person want space? What does space mean to them, right? Because space to me could be like, I need 15 minutes, Carlos. I need 15 minutes to go into the other room and nobody bother me for 15 minutes. But for some people, it might be something completely different. So you have to ask the person, you have to ask them what that looks like for them. And then you have to decide if that works for you, right? Because what does that even mean? And then why is it coming up? Did you do something that upset them? What's happening? Yeah. This is like the type of stuff where we need more context. But really, I think the answer to this question is ask the person that's asking for space what they need. What do they need from you? Do they need you to completely just not contact them at all until they're ready to reach out to you? Because that could be what they need right now. It could be, like I said, like in the other example, like I just need 15 minutes like to myself per day, or like I need an hour per day alone. Or something like that. So it depends on the context of the relationship. It depends on what that person needs. Like, you have to ask the person, honestly.
If you're afraid of communicating with the person that you think you're in love with or that you want to be with,
then it's not the right person. So. It's either not the right person or you're not in the right place to be in a relationship. True.
Let's go. Let's do this one real quick, because this one was very, very interesting. Let's go.
If you and your coworker like each other and you both know it, should you start to date?
No. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Well, no, okay, it depends. Do you like your job? Do you want to keep your job? Not like you would lose your job, but do you want to stay working in that environment? Because that can get messy.
It could get messy so quick. Listen, you can't eat where you...
You can't shit where you eat.
Yeah. I think that's facts, and you don't want to get... It's like almost dating someone that you go to the gym with. Like, then you have to find a whole new gym if you break up, or if things get awkward, if you're not talking to the person, it gets so uncomfortable just being at the gym. You're like, bro, come on, this is like where I feel good at, this is where I work out, and then you have to find a whole new routine, which is not worth it.
Yeah, I just think that there's always a potential of once you start something with somebody that maybe it's not going to go well, or maybe there might be, like, not from your side or anything, but you don't know how that can affect your workplace.
Especially at work,
Because, okay, like for me, my story time is like, I've never dated someone I work with, but there's been people that assume that I'm dating somebody that I work with, and then they literally treat me differently or do something like that. I don't know. So I can only imagine if that's really happening. I just think that if you really like your job, then don't do it. If you're planning on leaving anyway, or you're just not that interested, then do it. Then do it. But it's not worth messing up your career for something like that. Like,
no, because then if something happens, if there's gossip around town, and especially talking about you, like, like, oh, this person's dating, like, you're just inviting people into your life that's very unnecessary, and it's going to be very uncomfortable for you. Because then you feel like, I have to tell someone, or I have to. Don't do it. I wouldn't do it unless the person.
Unless you or the other person is planning to quit anyway, then I would say then go for it.
Still healing from a toxic and abusive relationship. And honestly, I don't know if I'll fully heal.
Oh, well, okay, here's what I'll say. You
That's
will
tough.
heal. You will heal.
It feels like it's never gonna end, but it will.
But it will. And I think that doesn't mean that things won't come up for you later on. Like, I think your healing journey is an ongoing thing, right?
I think your healing journey begins when you get to look at it through a different perspective. I think if you look at it through through a hurting perspective, you'll never heal because you just ask yourself why, and you ask yourself, you know, questions that will never be unanswered, that don't necessarily need to be answered because it's not worth it. But I feel like when you look at it as like, you know, you're learning from it, you're growing from it, and it's necessary in life, I feel like that's when things will kind of start to unlock themselves and be like, oh, okay, cool, like this person did this and not toxic, and now I know what to look for in another guy or a girl, and then you'll see like what's important to you and what's not important to you, and what's a red flag. And I think if you try to grow from it by basing it on your true feelings and emotions, I feel like it's necessary. So I feel like once you flip the script, you'll probably be able to heal faster and then grow stronger and be like, all right, cool, like that was necessary for me. Like everyone has a path that they have to go on and accept it and release it.
Yes, I think when you look at it from that lens of what can I learn from this situation, about myself and about what I want or don't want moving forward, about maybe why you were in that situation in the first place.
Yeah.
I feel that when I saw something that said something along the lines of every person that you choose to be in your life, it's something along the lines of, is you reflected back in some way? Like, not necessarily that you're a bad person, like if you were with someone that really hurt you and was toxic, not that you're a bad person or a really toxic person, but that there's something about yourself that says, oh, this is familiar to me, this is something that feels that I need. It could be something from your childhood that you're recreating in your current circumstance, and so on, you know what I mean? So I feel if you really kind of look at yourself, and not to say that you were responsible for someone's actions, you're definitely not responsible for somebody's actions, but to just say, what was my part in this in terms of why did I allow this? You know, what attracted me to this person? And then start to think about what you want moving forward. I know what it's like when you just kind of have this experience with somebody and then your mind kind of shifts for a little bit, thinking that, well, everybody must be like this, or that this is just the reality. You know, I feel sometimes when people get cheated on or something like that, they just assume everybody's going to be a cheater and so on. And I just want to express that that's definitely not the case. There are a lot of different types of people in the world. There are a lot of different capacities for relationships and a capacity for love. And when you are ready to move on past this terrible thing that happened, through whatever you need for your healing journey, whether it's therapy or time alone or whatever you need to help process it, just know that you will get there eventually.
You will succeed.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I thought that was long-winded.
It's okay.
Sorry, guys.
No, yeah, you'll be fine. Trust me. It's not anything life can't fix, time can't fix. But like I said, while time is passing, try to
when you're in
evaluate.
it does feel like
of course, but
you're
try
never going to feel differently, but you will feel
just
differently.
evaluate your life on a daily basis and live day by day.
Yes, take it one day at a time, and if you're feeling particularly stuck in a cycle, change something about your day-to-day. Change any one thing. It doesn't matter what it is, you know? If you're, just change something in your routine. Like,
Yeah, if you're a guy,
that helps you.
strip club, chicken wings starts at noon. If you're a girl, go to a museum. My partner and I are literally yin-yang, 2,000%, 200%. It's hard to dance like this. That's it. That's it.
That's all, that's it.
Jesus Christ. What do you recommend if your partner has several insecurities that affect trusting you? Find someone who trusts you.
Man, I hate that that is the advice, but that is not your problem. It's just not your problem that they have an issue. If you know that you are not doing anything to damage the trust in you, and that is going to be, that's tough because
That's crazy.
that is the worst. And then if you deal with someone who tries to gaslight you, and then you start to question yourself and your own character, and you're like, no, I know I'm not doing this stuff, but this person keeps telling me I am.
Yeah, get out of that
It just messes with your head. I just don't think it's fair to you that they're dealing with something. That is something that that person needs to deal with on their own, and that is not your responsibility.
If someone doesn't trust you, just get out. Easy. Just leave. Don't. If someone tells you verbally, just don't. You don't.
For no reason. You did nothing to
yeah,
deserve that.
Just don't. Just,
like that
just be
is
like,
not. Yeah, that's just not your. So many of us get stuck. Just like the girl that has the boyfriend that has the mental disorder. So many of us get stuck believing that it's our job to heal other people.
Yeah.
It's our job to fix other people. It is not your job to fix anybody, to give anybody therapy, to help anybody. That all has to come from that individual. They have to want to make a change. They have to want to be doing the steps required to heal whatever the shit they have going on. Exactly. It is not your job. The way that you can maybe help support somebody is, you know, if they need to take time to go to therapy every week, support that. If they are actively taking steps to help themselves, then I say, yeah, be there to support them in that. If they are abusing you in some kind of way because of their own problem, because that's abusive. When somebody keeps questioning you or gaslighting you,
you're being manipulated.
It's not. It is their problem. It is not your problem. I would say hold a boundary. Say, I have not done anything wrong. I have not done anything to make you question my, you know, my character. Yeah. And so, you know,
fuck off.
Essentially, right? This is a hard boundary. Like, we've talked about it, and that's it, you know? And if they're gonna keep going and they're not gonna get any help, I mean, I think that's just that's something they have to work on. It's not your job to fix them.
Did you guys ever break up? How was transitioning, going back together? That was tough, dude. That was hard.
It's so funny that people think we broke up. Why would anybody ever think that we spent time apart? Is it because I really want to know from this person why you think that?
I don't know why you guys assume that. No, we never broke up.
We've never broken up. We've never even had a hard like a part where we're like, oh, we're gonna break up.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's funny, dude. I don't know.
How was it like getting back with me? You were like, finally, she's back.
How y'all meet? We have some questions. Let's go ahead and introduce this new segment. I'm gonna screen record this because it's very interesting. Okay.
Please understand this. Never, ever, ever go see a woman where she's at. Never. I don't care if you lose her. I don't care if you lose her. How you start is how you finish. I don't care where she is. Do not go where she is. Always redirect. If she says, well, I'm actually at the winery right now, why don't you come over? Say, hey, listen, it's all good. Enjoy your wine. But afterwards, come see me where I'm at. If she's like, how come you don't want to come here? Just say, hey, listen, do your thing with your friends. But when you're done with that, text me and I'll let you know where I am. Just keep redirecting it right where you want it to be.
Oh my God.
Don't take advice from these guys, especially guys.
Wait. What is his advice relating to? Is his advice relating to just having bitches?
I think it's just girls. Yeah,
Just having girls on your roster?
Yes, when a girl says
Like-
come here, he's just saying whenever a girl says come here, don't be submissive to women. Essentially, like he wants to be a top alpha G. What I'm saying is don't listen to that guy. First off, playing games with a girl. If you could play games with a girl and she actually falls for those games, she's probably a very low frequency girl. Okay.
Very low frequency.
You're gonna want to make, and if you are dealing with a girl who you know, like I just don't get these games. Like this guy.
I get it when you're
This
thinking
dude's
in terms
tripping.
of just having like a roster of people that you have sex with or something like that. Like you don't want intimacy. This is a psychological game. And
Exactly,
I'm
it's
gonna
just- it's
maintain
insane.
control of this. And I'm gonna be playing a little bit like hard to get. And therefore she's gonna want me more. And that he's gonna maintain that control over her, like a little puppet.
Listen,
And here's the deal, man. Actually, that behavior does work, yes, with low frequency girls, like girls that are not in a really healthy place. That stuff does work. It does work. If you want to be this type of person, yeah, that stuff will work for certain types of girls. If the girl is a very healthy girl, she has self-value, that might work once or twice because yeah, of course. Like this is a partnership, right?
Compromise,
I'm
yeah.
gonna compromise. I'll go to you. But if that's always how that person is behaving towards you, a high value woman, I think, is eventually going to be like, ooh, you're not it.
you're crazy.
Like,
And also, if you're a guy, like you don't need to play these games. I feel like be a gentleman about it. If a girl hits you up and you are genuinely interested in meeting with her, go meet with her. It's not you don't have to like feel like you have to play these mind games to be like I feel like a fucking alpha guy.
so
Yeah, and
that's
also-
how I feel about that.
I feel like if you're I feel like if you do attract these type of girls, yeah, those are the girls you don't want to have around for the most part, honestly. Yeah.
To catch your man cheating, step 1.
Check this out.
Step 2, hide your AirPod inside the car.
She's determined.
And we're on the go.
She's determined.
Step 3, change your hairstyle.
She's laughing too, like
So today, we have bangs.
Jesus Christ.
I'm obviously also gonna wear a mask. Okay? Step 2.
That for get a sister.
A sitter.
Oh,
So she
sitter.
has a child.
Found this car. What's happening?
This goes back, and she said at the end of the day, she said, "Oh, he was just at the gym."
She said that?
Yeah. So I feel like this goes very. What happened?
Oh, nothing.
This goes hand in hand with the conversation we had earlier. I feel like if someone goes to that extent where they're like trying to like find something that you're doing, it is super manipulative, and I feel like that is such red flags for anyone, and it's not going to be healthy to be in that relationship. So I feel like that girl is obviously crazy for doing that, and she probably had a lot of issues that she hadn't fixed. But I'm just saying, like, this goes back to like the person who was saying that they have the trust issues with the boyfriend. I feel like it probably is going to make things worse over time, so get out of it.
But no, she probably just did that for TikTok. But like, it probably wasn't a real thing. She probably didn't have a boyfriend. But what I'll say is, let's say that girl did all that. She went through all of that. She got her bank. She got a babysitter. She hid her iPods in the car. She did the whole thing just to find out that the guy wasn't cheating. He was going to work on himself, go to the gym, and at the gym he wasn't cheating, whatever. Let's just say she found out for certainty the guy wasn't cheating. I want to know, what is she doing now to reflect back and be like, why did I feel this way?
Yeah.
Why was I worried about this? What do I need to do to work on myself to, one, be able to communicate in a more healthy way that maybe there's something in the relationship that she's not getting, that
Yeah.
she's not feeling she's getting from her partner, so therefore she assumes her partner is being unfaithful, because why else would he not be giving her those things?
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's so many layers to this
It's
that
wild.
like I don't know, I feel like if I really had a feeling that you were being unfaithful, one, I would trust my gut because I am at a place now where I feel like I'm healthy enough that if I'm really getting that gut feeling, it's probably for a reason.
Yeah.
And then it will probably also be like, oh, I also know something's not right with our relationship. Like I know maybe we haven't been as close, or maybe something else is probably going on too.
True.
So I think we're always going to say it, but it comes back to being able to communicate with your partner in a healthy way. But actually, I have one thing that it's not as like dramatic, but I wanted to see what you thought about this because I actually thought like, oh, this is so interesting, this concept.
Listen, Leo is how old? 49 and this girl's 19. I think it's fine.
That is so
good-looking.
predatory.
She's so good looking. No, but listen.
She is beautiful.
She's very, very, very hot.
She's
But
so
it's so
beautiful,
messed up
but
to a lot of levels because it's like at that
still
point.
mentally a baby. Her brain's not fully developed. It's not right.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like, what is he gonna talk about? You know, what is it?
With
what,
the
what-
life
what is he gonna
experience
get?
that
Yeah, what is he gonna
Leonardo
get out of
DiCaprio
it?
has versus a 19-year-old girl that just happens to be beautiful.
She's just gonna be damaged.
What is
So
what is the connection there?
But
It's
she will be
obviously
famous.
only sexual.
She will be famous.
She'll be famous, but anyway, I don't know how people
He
think
lowered
that's
the bar.
okay.
He said 25 is a little too old for me now. I'm going for 19.
Okay, so this is a little bit long, so we could maybe put this in a different video if
No,
this
let's
video
go,
gets
guys.
to be too long. So this might be the last thing. So it starts off, this is from Jordan Dan on Instagram. It says, incompatible partnership, working with different attachment adaptations. So there was actually a question in there, or not a question, but more of a comment that said, we're yin and yang, right?
Yeah.
So this could be part of that. They work with different attachment adaptations. So this says there's one adaptation called the alligator or the maximizer, and there's one called the turtle, the minimizer. So this is what it says. We all have different adaptive styles when it comes to attachment. Sometimes we feel more identified with a maximizer adaptation or a minimizer adaptation, and for those we may have a bit of both. This style of relating can also change depending on the person with whom we are in a relationship, the environment, or the topic. For instance, in a couple, one person might be a maximizer when money is being discussed, but might be a minimizer when it comes to sex. So often people associate these styles with attachment styles, specifically anxious avoidant pairings, and if that is helpful association, great. However, I like to look at these styles of relating from a trauma-informed, strength-based, non-pathologizing,
Pathologizing. There you go.
pathologizing, yes, thank you. A non-pathologizing standpoint, which is that under attachment threat, we all have a way in which we respond. Okay, so the maximizer, pursue or fight, the alligator, okay? So might be your style. I express my feelings with a lot of energy. I turn to others and talk to them about what I'm going through. I tell my partner when I'm upset. I need others around when I'm upset, and I'm very open with my feelings. I express my needs verbally, and I try to get my partner to hear and to respond. I feel responsible for making the relationship work and getting my partner to open up and talk. I can be excessively generous. I turn to others for feedback on how to handle situations. So that's the alligator or the maximizer. So it sounds like someone who's very outward about their feelings and their emotions. Like they're comfortable talking about it. They want feedback. They want to talk about what's going on. Then you have the minimizer. They're distant or they're in the freeze or flight mode. I feel tight inside and I do not verbalize my emotions very easily or quickly. I can default to a self-sufficient, I got this on my own attitude. I don't tell my partner why I'm upset. It takes me a while to know that I'm upset or to identify the origin of what my feeling might be. I express very few or no needs. I can exclude others from my personal space. I can withhold my feelings, thoughts, and behaviors. I feel safer alone or in situations that are not intense. So then she goes on that there's more that you can try to help if you have a turtle. If you're so I actually think that especially in the beginning of our relationship, I was more of a turtle. It was extremely hard for me to tell you how I feel, not because of you. It was just my own stuff. It's my own trauma. I was very much, I want to do everything on my own. I want to be completely independent. I don't want to have to rely on anybody for anything, including emotional stuff. Sometimes you would ask me what's wrong, and the words literally couldn't come out of my mouth.
Damn.
Like, remember?
Yeah.
You remember? I mean, I feel like I've changed a little bit, right? Like
A little too much, yeah.
No, but I mean, that was my stuff in the beginning, and there was a reason that I was that way. I just, I felt tight. Like sometimes, and it's still to this day. We literally had a conversation a little while ago where we had a pretty good conversation, but it took me how many months to even identify what was going on with me?
Yeah.
So I do think I have more of turtle tendencies in a way, maybe from my own past stuff, you know?
I think I'm more in between.
Yeah, and so it does say that you can be both
yeah.
depending on the situation, and I definitely see that with Carlos. Carlos can be an alligator, and he can be a turtle.
Yeah, that's facts.
That's facts. So I think both of us actually can be.
Which
but
one
in general,
which one do you guys think you are, alligator or turtle?
It says if you're a maximizer, here are ideas of drawing your turtle out of their shell. So it says, ask them what they need and don't expect them to know. This is so interesting to me.
Annoying.
But it's like,
I know.
But it's like, I get
that sounds
it.
like such an annoying
But sometimes, that does sound annoying. But sometimes that's true. Sometimes in the moment, it's hard to even to know for yourself, especially if you're the type of person where, for whatever your shit was in the past, your traumas, how you grew up with your family or your parents, sometimes you have to learn even how to identify feelings. I remember for myself, that's something I had to work on in therapy is my therapist would ask me, how are you feeling today? And I'd be like, okay. She's like, okay is not a feeling.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't know, I'd be like, what? Like, I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling. And that would be something I had to learn. I had to learn that over time is how to identify what I'm actually feeling. And anyway, so it says, don't expect them to know right away. In a moment of calm, simply ask them what they might be needing. Start to create opportunities to be a safe haven for them. Learn to be curious about their needs when it isn't a demand that is connected to your need. Because of their history, minimizers often need more support, time, and space to sense their inner world and to find language to express it. So I can identify with that in some respects. And so there's more things. And then there's also some ideas for if you're a minimizer, how do you deal with an alligator who's like the opposite of you? So it says if you're a minimizer, ideas for calming your alligator, you can ask what's going on. Maximizers have so much happening inside of them. When no one checks in, they can feel dysregulated, lonely, and even afraid.
That's true.
Aww.
I'm gonna get a tattoo of an alligator right above my penis.
Ooh. Damn, like the alligator just has a big old hole. Be more proactive about regularly attuning to your partner's inner world. Mirror what they say. Engage validation and empathy. Build a culture of appreciation. Oh my God, I feel this so much. You need to feel appreciated, right? I mean, everyone needs to feel appreciated, but like, I could definitely see that. Like a lot of validation and stuff like that. Anyway, I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about, especially when you're talking about when you're dealing with polar opposites or you're dealing with someone that has a different attachment style than you. Yeah. It doesn't mean that your relationship can't work, because here's an example of us. I think we're both a little bit of both depending on the situation, but I definitely feel that I can lean, and when we're talking about feelings and stuff, I could lean towards being a minimizer. It's still to this day a little bit uncomfortable for me to genuinely talk about what's really going on inside. It feels a little bit scary. It's so vulnerable. Even though I fully trust Carlos, it's still hard for me. I have to make an effort to do that because I know it's going to make our relationship better, but it's really something I have to constantly check in with myself. How do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like you have to consciously check in with yourself to... Yeah, for sure. It also depends what I'm feeling like, because I feel like I'm a little bit of both. I think it depends on the situation. What situations where you feel... I don't know. Yeah, no, I think it depends. Like, if it's like... It also, as a maximizer, I feel like maybe
you not over communicate, but you just kind of overthink things maybe. So I think it feels like it's bigger than what it really is, and then you turn into a turtle. Right? I don't know, because you're like, should I do this? You know, like, should I over communicate? I feel like, or do something like that. But yeah, I feel like it's good. I mean, I just feel like at the end of the day, this is a really good example of like the yin-yang thing, where it's like you're gonna have to communicate with.
I feel like it's an interesting thought for yourself.
Yeah.
To recognize for yourself when these things come up for you. As minimizers might have a harder time with that, but being able to kind of attune to your partner for the circumstance, right? Like you might see, for example, like you might see on my face something's wrong. You ask me what's wrong, and I'll be like, nothing.
Yeah.
Or I might just be like, I don't know, I don't feel like talking about it or whatever, but you can tell.
Yeah.
Like you're tuning in and you're just like, okay, and then I feel like you know when to push and when to like let it go.
Yeah. Hold on. So we're gonna respond to this guy real fast. He submitted something last time. He was 21 years old. He was in love with this girl that lives in Mexico. I asked him to give him more context. He said, 21 here, and here's more context on the question I had before. So essentially, we've been texting daily for about 3 months now, and tell each other about our day, how things are going, etc. Try to give good advice to each other, and she doesn't talk to me about other guys. Anyways, kind of just want to spill the beans and be straight up with her, like, hey, you've caught my interest. Are you down? LOL. And no, tell twice the mood that I've had a female friend since I was 15, now 21. So 15 to 21 years old, man.
They've only been
If you
consistently
picked
reaching out to each other for the last 3 months. Shoot your
shot
shot.
now, ASAP.
Do it.
ASAP.
Do it now. You have literally nothing to lose.
Yeah, I thought 21. I thought 15 to 21. Like, if you've met her when you're 15 and kind of like.
You just known of each
Yeah,
other.
if you've known her since you were 15, that's fine. But if you've been talking for the last few months, then do it now. I feel like do it now before it gets too stale. And obviously, if I've known someone that was at that age, 15, I was 21, thinking back when I was 21, I feel like it would be kind of hard not to see him as a friend. Unless, I think for a guy perspective, obviously always looking at the beauty of women, you're probably like, oh, she grew up to be someone hot.
If you didn't have a close relationship when you guys were 15, like you guys weren't buddies, you just know somebody because you went to the same, like a similar school or something, that doesn't mean anything. It could just be like, oh, whatever, for whatever reason we connected now. And we literally know someone, one of our friends, a new friend, that was their story. Is that they knew each other as kids, and just kind of like they knew of each other and they knew each other, but nothing ever happened later in their life. They just reconnected, and then they ended up having this really great connection, and now they're in a loving relationship.
Yeah, you have
go
to
for it.
Because you can't. Once you even enter that friend zone or that territory, you're done. You're screwed because you've had you've known her since you were so young. So it's like
Just go for it. You guys have been talking for 3 months.
3 months is a long time.
That's a long time. Just tell her that you're interested and see what happens. And then, but also, what's up with that long distance relationship though? I don't know about that.
Yeah, if you feel good with it. But at the end of the day, go for it. Just do it. See what happens. I'm just saying, get yourself out of that play ASAP and get into like the more flirty, aggressive play, because you don't want to fall into that trap. Because then it's going to be impossible to get out. Because she's going to be like, oh, I just see you as a friend. If you've been talking for 6 to a year, she's going to be like, you never made a move. And I feel like that is going to have to happen soon. So yeah, hit her up with whatever you feel comfortable hitting her up with. Like I said, you don't have to play games with her. You can be straight up and then see what happens. Knock, knock on that door. Yeah.
Anyway.
That's wild. That's crazy.
That's wild.
So there you guys have it. Boom. We're gonna wrap it up. This was a long.
This is a long one.
Long one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Honestly, let us know down below if you guys are newly subscribed. Let us know what you guys like, what you guys would like to see. Always down to hear feedback. This is a two-way relationship. So let us know. And we're happy that you guys are watching the content, and happy to have you guys as friends, family, and followers. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to check us out at By Carlos Roberto. Twice the Mood. That's where you could Twice the Mood mainly. You could enter the questions. I think for the week.
Anything, and also
anything
guys,
related.
anything relationship. It doesn't have to be a love relationship.
Any relationship, yeah.
It could be like friendships, your relationship with your parents, relationship with siblings, relationship with a coworker, relationship with your boss. It just relationships.
And also fun story times. Please, dude, go to my page, By Carlos Roberto.
Oh, yeah.
Insert the fun story times. I want to see like fun story times relating
And we'll
to
react to
relationships
it.
and yeah, just like any funny things. I don't want to give all my relationship stories.
I know, don't give them all away. He has a lot.
No,
You know, to this day, I'm still learning new ones.
you guys have, yeah, I know you guys have crazy ones as well. So let us know, please. And I want to
Don't say that.
I want to live, laugh, and love beyond this world. So don't forget to subscribe if you guys like this. Hit the like button, and we'll see you guys very soon. Live, love, and laugh.
Live